Welcome back to Fishing Myths and Truths. I'm your host, Michael, and today, we're diving into the murky depths of angling folklore. We've all heard them, those whispered secrets passed down through generations of anglers. But how many of these so-called truths hold water? In episode 5, we're tackling the digital age of fishing. Do those moon phase apps really hold the key to unlocking a monster bite? Is night fishing always the best bet for landing a trophy? And what about that age-old question, can fish actually smell your fear, or at least your lunch? We're casting off on a quest for answers, separating fact from fiction and reeling in the truth. So bait your hook, grab your gear, and get ready to explore the fascinating world beneath the surface. Let's dive in. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss a myth-busting cast. Now, you've probably heard whispers about these moon phase apps, these digital oracles promising to pinpoint the perfect time to wet your line. The theory behind them, known as solunar theory, suggests that fish activity is influenced by the gravitational pull of the moon and the sun. Sounds a bit like astrology for fish, doesn't it? But there's a sliver of truth hidden beneath the surface. You see, tides, those rhythmic rises and falls of our oceans and coastal waters, are directly influenced by the moon's gravitational pull. And tides, my friends, are a powerful force in the aquatic realm. They dictate the movements of bait fish, stir up nutrients, and create feeding opportunities for predators. So, it stands to reason that fish behavior might be influenced by these lunar cycles. Many anglers swear by these apps, claiming they've experienced increased catches during peak solunar periods, those times when the moon's influence is supposedly at its strongest. And there's some scientific evidence to back up these anecdotal accounts. Studies have shown that certain species like redfish and tarpon exhibit increased feeding activity during specific moon phases, but here's the catch. While these apps can provide a helpful guideline, a starting point for planning your fishing excursions, they're not foolproof. Think of them as a compass, not a map. They might point you in the right direction, but they won't reveal the exact location of that hidden fishing hole teeming with hungry lunkers. Remember, the underwater world is a complex and ever-changing environment. A myriad of factors beyond lunar cycles influence fish behavior. Factors like water temperature, barometric pressure, time of year, and the availability of food. A cold front moving in, for example, can send water temperatures plummeting and shut down even the most enthusiastic feeding frenzy, regardless of what the moon phase app might say. And let's not forget about the most important factor of all bait presents. If there's a smorgasbord of tasty morsels readily available, those fish aren't going to wait for a specific alignment of celestial bodies to start chowing down. They're opportunistic feeders, always on the lookout for an easy meal. So, should you ditch the moon phase apps altogether? Not necessarily. They can be a useful tool, providing insights into tidal patterns and potential feeding windows. But don't become a slave to the algorithm. Use your own knowledge, experience, and intuition. Observe the environment, study the behavior of the fish, and adapt your approach accordingly. Remember, the most successful anglers are those who understand that the natural world rarely adheres to rigid rules. It's a delicate dance between observation, adaptation, and a healthy dose of luck. So keep those moon phase apps handy, but don't forget to trust your instincts. Sometimes, the best fishing happens when you least expect it. Now let's talk about night fishing. There's a certain mystique to it, a sense of adventure that draws anglers to the water's edge under the cover of darkness. The air is cooler, the crowds are gone, and the only sounds are the gentle lapping of water and the occasional splash of a feeding fish. It's a magical time to be on the water, and for some species it's prime time for a feeding frenzy. Take catfish, for example. These whiskered denizens of the deep are notorious for their nocturnal habits, preferring to prowl the depths under the veil of darkness. Their sensitive barbels, those whisker-like appendages, are highly attuned to detecting food in low-light conditions, giving them a distinct advantage when the sun goes down. Walleye, too, are known for their nighttime feeding forays. These masters of camouflage rely on their exceptional low-light vision to ambush prey in the shallows, where they often venture under the cover of darkness. And then there are bass, those gladiators of the freshwater world. While they're certainly active during daylight hours, many anglers swear by the effectiveness of night fishing for trophy-sized bass, especially during the heat of summer. You see, as the sun sets and temperatures drop, these larger, more wary bass often venture out from their daytime hiding spots to feed. The cooler water temperatures and reduced boat traffic make for more comfortable hunting grounds, and the darkness provides a cloak of invisibility, allowing them to ambush prey with impunity. But here's the thing, while night fishing can be incredibly productive for certain species and during specific times of year, it's not always a guaranteed slam dunk. Just like with those moon phase apps, there are other factors at play here, factors that can make or break your nocturnal angling adventures. Let's start with water temperature. While cooler nighttime temperatures might be a welcome relief for anglers during the dog days of summer, they can actually work against you during the colder months. Fish are cold-blooded creatures, meaning their body temperature fluctuates with the surrounding water. As water temperatures drop, their metabolism slows, and they become less active, less likely to expend precious energy chasing down a meal. Then there's water clarity, or lack thereof. In clear water lakes, fish rely heavily on their vision to locate prey. During the day, sunlight penetrates the water column, illuminating their hunting grounds. But at night, visibility is greatly reduced, making it more challenging for these sight-oriented predators to find food. In these situations, daytime fishing might actually be more productive. And let's not forget about the logistics of night fishing. Navigating unfamiliar waters in the dark can be treacherous even for seasoned boaters. And then there's the gear. You'll need a good headlamp or spotlight to navigate your surroundings, as well as a reliable fish finder with a powerful sonar unit to locate fish in the depths. So, is night fishing always better? The answer, as with most things in fishing, is, it depends. It can be an incredibly rewarding experience, offering solitude, cooler temperatures, and the chance to target species that are less active during the day. But it's not a magic bullet. Do your research, consider the time of year, water temperature and clarity, and most importantly, be prepared for anything. Chapter 3. Human Scent, the invisible threat to your catch. Now let's talk about something that might make your skin crawl a bit: human scent. We've all heard the warnings, the hushed tones advising us to avoid using scented soaps, deodorants, even sunscreen lest we scare away every fish within a 10-mile radius. But is there any truth to these claims? Can fish really smell our fear, or at least our aftershave? Well, the answer, like a slippery fish, is a bit hard to pin down. Fish, you see, possess an incredibly keen sense of smell. In fact, for many species it's their primary sense, allowing them to navigate their watery world, locate food, and even communicate with each other. Their olfactory system, those nostrils on either side of their head, is highly sensitive, capable of detecting even the faintest traces of chemicals dissolved in the water. So it stands to reason that they could potentially detect human scent. But here's the thing, not all human scents are created equal. Fish aren't necessarily repelled by our natural body odor. What they're really sensitive to are strong, unnatural chemical smells, things like gasoline, bug spray, sunscreen, and even the residue from scented soaps and lotions. Think about it. These foreign substances are not part of their natural environment. They're unfamiliar, potentially harmful, and therefore something to be avoided. So if you're handling your bait or lures after pumping gas or slathering on insect repellent, you could be inadvertently transferring those scents to your offering, essentially ringing the dinner bell for a big fat no thanks from any fish in the vicinity. Now some anglers take this scent control thing to the extreme, going so far as to wash their hands with baking soda, wear rubber gloves while baiting hooks, and even store their fishing gear in airtight containers. And hey, if it gives you peace of mind and you believe it gives you an edge, more power to you. But here's the thing, while it's certainly wise to avoid contaminating your bait with strong chemical smells, don't overthink it. Fish are constantly bombarded with a symphony of scents in their natural environment: decaying vegetation, the musk of other fish, even the faintest traces of blood and guts from a recent feeding frenzy. Your natural human scent, unless you've just finished a marathon or haven't showered in a week, is unlikely to send them fleeing for the hills. In fact, some anglers believe that certain human scents, like the oils secreted by our skin, can actually have an attractant effect on some species. There's a whole industry built around scent-based fishing attractants after all. So, what's the verdict? Should you douse yourself in tomato juice before every fishing trip? Probably not necessary, but it's always a good idea to be mindful of strong chemical smells that could potentially transfer to your bait or lures. Wash your hands with unscented soap. Avoid handling your tackle after touching fuel or insect repellent. And if you're really concerned, consider using scent-eliminating sprays designed specifically for anglers. Remember, the key is to minimize unnatural scents that could raise red flags for wary fish. But don't get so caught up in the scent control game that you forget to enjoy the experience. After all, fishing is supposed to be relaxing, right? So today we learned moon phase apps, helpful, but not wholly. Night fishing? Sometimes great, but not always. Human scent? Fishy, but not fatal. Remember, the most successful anglers are those who approach fishing with an open mind, a thirst for knowledge, and a healthy dose of skepticism. Don't be afraid to challenge conventional wisdom, experiment with different techniques, and most importantly, never stop learning. Like this series? Smash that like button, drop a comment with your fishing rituals, and subscribe for more truth under the surface. In episode 6, we're cracking into fish memory, electronics myths, and the big debate. Does loud music scare fish away? Don't miss it. Stay smart, stay sharp. Fishing Myths and Truths continues.